23-24 Champions League group stage matches are over and the round of 16 draw has been completed, so we know who's playing who. But if you haven't had a chance to see the round of 16 draw, let me show you the matchups. In the round of 16, it will be Porto taking on Arsenal. Napoli will face Barcelona. PSG and Kylian Mbappe will take on a Spanish underdog in Real Sociedad, while the Italian giant Inter Milan will take on the Spanish giant Atletico Madrid. PSV from Netherlands will take on Borussia Dortmund, while Lazio will take on the other German side in Bayern Munich. The Danish club FC Copenhagen, after beating the odds and getting out of their group, will have their hands full with Manchester City. Man City always getting the easy teams. And finally, another German club in RB Leipzig will take on Real Madrid. But who will win the 23-24 Champions League? Well, today, FC 24 is going to decide that for us. Now that you've seen the round of 16 matchups and who's playing who, let's go to the end of the round of 16 and see what EA Sports gives us. See who's making it out and see who's going home. I'm really hoping that Arsenal progresses and maybe they will win a Champions League this year. Probably not, but at least get to like the semifinals or something. Also, of course, if you enjoy the content, guys, please hit the like button for me and the subscribe button with the little noti bell if you're new here. This is the home of fairy tale runs, by the way, and maybe we're gonna have another fairy tale run here. You just never know. Okay, so the round of 16 knockout phase is over. What did eafc 24 give us? Let's start with Arsenal versus Porto. It should probably be Arsenal. Oh my gosh, man. Arsenal, please. Why you gotta do this to me? Arsenal bottle it in the round of 16 against Porto. Porto wins 6-5 on penalties. Arsenal is eliminated in the round of 16. Porto is progressing to the quarterfinals. This is such an embarrassment. How does this happen? Why do I support this team? Even FC 24 hates them. The second matchup, it is Barcelona versus Napoli, and it is gonna be Barcelona going into the quarterfinals. They beat out Napoli 5-2 on aggregate, so Porto is in the quarterfinals, and now Barcelona is in as well. Matchup number 3, it is the French giant PSG taking on a very exciting Spanish club in Real Sociedad, and it was PSG. Unfortunately, Real Sociedad, they ran out of gas in the round of 16, 7-2 on aggregate for PSG. PSG moves on to the quarterfinals of the 23-24 Champions League. Matchup number 4, and this is a big one. Inter Milan from Italy against Atletico Madrid from Spain. Inter Milan come out on top, 3-1 on aggregate. Atletico Madrid, as strong as they are this year, they couldn't get by Inter, so Inter progresses to the quarterfinals. Atletico Madrid, unfortunately, is going home. Matchup number 5, it is Netherlands versus Germany. It is PSV versus Borussia Dortmund, and people were actually surprised that Borussia Dortmund made it out of their group because they weren't in great form, and when that group was drawn with Newcastle, AC Milan, and PSG, everybody said that Borussia Dortmund is probably gonna go home. But hey, they made it to the round of 16, and now they made it to the quarterfinals because they beat out PSV 5-0 on aggregate. PSV didn't score a single goal, so Borussia Dortmund, what a surprising story. They're in the quarterfinals. Matchup number 6, we'll see Lazio take on the German giant Bayern Munich, and I honestly can't see very many teams out there that can beat Bayern Munich over 2 legs. I mean, they're kind of unstoppable right now. Harry Kane is scoring at will. Can Lazio beat Bayern Munich? Well, here they can't because they lost 3-1 on aggregate, 2-0 in the second leg, 1-1 in the first leg, actually. Lazio, they kept it competitive, but ultimately Bayern Munich won. Bayern Munich is going to the quarterfinals. Lazio is going home. Matchup number 7, and we see a Danish fairy tale story in FC Copenhagen make it out of a group with Galatasaray, Manchester United, and Bayern Munich. That was absolutely incredible scenes, but they got stuck with Manchester City in the round of 16. What a terrible draw for them. Probably a very positive draw for Manchester City. Can Copenhagen beat Manchester City? Probably not, and they're not going to do it here either, unfortunately. 6-2 on aggregate for Manchester City. FC Copenhagen, their run ends in the round of 16. Man City is in the quarters. In the final matchup, we'll see the German side in RB Leipzig take on the Spanish giant in Real Madrid. And let's be serious here. As good and competitive as RB Leipzig can be, there's no way they're going to beat Real Madrid. And they're not beating them here either because Real Madrid won 5-1 on aggregate, 3-1 in the second leg. RB Leipzig will be going home in the round of 16. Real Madrid's in the quarterfinals. So now we know the 8 clubs that will be playing in the quarterfinals of the 23-24 Champions League. I cannot believe Arsenal didn't make it, but the 8 clubs, they need to be seeded once again. And because in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, country protection does not apply anymore, we're gonna spin the wheel and find out who is playing who. Fun fact about country protection, if you don't know what that is, it's when 2 clubs from the same country, they can't play each other, but that stops after the round of 16. Please, my smart people out there, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, our first matchup will be the first club. Who is it gonna be? Someone good. It's gonna be PSG, and PSG is going to be playing. Who are they gonna be playing? Oh my! Bayern Munich! PSG versus Bayern, France versus Germany, quarterfinal number 2. First team in Inter Milan. And who is Inter Milan getting? Oh boy, it's Manchester City. Man City versus Inter. Here we go. A rematch of last year's final. That's gonna be good. 4 teams left the third quarter final. The first team is Porto, the underdog. But who is Porto going to take on? Oh, it's gonna be Barcelona. Porto versus Barcelona. I mean, Porto was an underdog against Arsenal. They're definitely gonna be an underdog against Barca, which means our last quarterfinal, there's only 2 teams left. It will be Borussia Dortmund against Real Madrid. Let's go to the end of the quarterfinals, see the results, see who's making it to the semis. Maybe Porto can continue this run they're on, but I'm really looking forward to PSG versus Bayern Munich. The quarterfinals are over. Who is coming to the semis? The first match, PSG versus Bayern. I was really looking forward to it, and like I said, not many teams out there can beat Bayern Munich over 2 legs, and it won't be PSG because PSG lost 5-3 on aggregate over 2 legs to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is going to the semifinals. PSG with Mbappe, bye-bye, going home. Our second quarterfinal, which is a rematch of last year's Champions League final, Inter Milan versus Manchester City. Can Inter Milan get their revenge? And the answer is no. 4-3 on aggregate for Man City. Inter actually won the first leg, but Man City won the second leg. 4-3 for Man City. Man City's in the semifinals, and unfortunately, Inter Milan, they come up short, and they're going home. They're eliminated. The third quarterfinal, Porto versus Barcelona. It is probably a very big ask for Porto to beat not only Arsenal, but then go ahead and beat Barcelona in the quarterfinals. Is it gonna happen? Probably not. It's not gonna happen here either. Unfortunately, Porto is eliminated. 5-1 on aggregate. Barcelona is in the semifinals. Porto, a very nice run, a valiant effort, but you're going home. And the last quarterfinal, it is the German side, Borussia Dortmund, against the Spanish giant in Real Madrid. And probably just like Porto, it is quite a big ask for Borussia Dortmund to beat Real Madrid and go to the semifinals. Can they do it? Yes, they can. They somehow did it. They beat Real Madrid 4-1 on aggregate, guys. FC 24, I told you, we are the home of fairy tale runs. Real Madrid is going home in the quarterfinals. Borussia Dortmund is in the semifinals, guys. This is insane. So our last 4 remaining clubs in the 23-24 Champions League are Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Barcelona, and Borussia Dortmund. What's Borussia Dortmund doing here? I don't know, but I love it. But of course, now we have to seed the 4 clubs. Who will be playing who in the semifinals? The first semifinal, let's find out. The first club, it is going to be Barcelona. And Barcelona will take on in the semifinals Bayern Munich. Oh my, that is quite the matchup, but I think Bayern Munich might be the favorites. And that also means that the other semifinal, it is Borussia Dortmund versus Manchester City. Can Borussia Dortmund do it again, but this time eliminate the reigning Champions League winners and go all the way to the final? All right, so our semifinals have come to an end. Who is going to be the first team that's going to be in our 23-24 Champions League final? The first matchup, Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. I said there aren't many teams that could beat Bayern Munich over 2 legs, but Barcelona is one of them, okay? Barcelona beat out Harry Kane 2-1 the first leg for Barcelona, 2-1 the second leg for Bayern Munich. It went to penalties, and Barcelona won 5-4. Harry Kane and Alphonso Davies, they go home empty-handed. They are eliminated in the semifinals. Barcelona is going to be in the Champions League final. Now, who's joining Barcelona in the Champions League final? Will it be Manchester City again, or will it be the surprising dark horse in Borussia Dortmund? And I can tell you, it was close. But Manchester City, they're going to go back to the final. They beat out Borussia Dortmund 5-4 on aggregate. It was very, very close, like I said, but can I please get some love in the comments for Borussia Dortmund? What a fantastic run, honestly. Congratulations. No one expected you to get past the group stage, but you went all the way to the semifinal and took Manchester City all the way by 1 goal. They lost by 1 goal over 2 legs. So our 23-24 Champions League final will be Erling Haaland with Manchester City and Mr. Robert Lewandowski with Barcelona. The Champions League final. We are at Wembley Stadium. That's where the 23-24 Champions League final will be. It is Barcelona versus Manchester City. Can Manchester City win it again? Or can Robert Lewandowski have something to say about it? Here we go. Welcome, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Both teams are absolutely world class. Both teams are quality. Who will win the 23-24 Champions League? And if you don't know, this is the last Champions League with the group stage matches, right? Because as of next season, there is no more group stages. It's just going to be a big soup of teams. So this one's for the history books. I think it's going to be a very tight matchup. Akanji will go to Ruben Diaz. Might be decided by 1 goal here. Maybe extra time, maybe penalties. You never know. Jules Koundé, Gundogan, Rafinha, Lewandowski. Lewandowski tries to get by two defenders. It's just not going to happen, is it? Man City is passing the ball around very well. Possession style play. Doku. Alvarez, Gvardiol, back to Doku. Lots of possession for Manchester City. No real opportunities. Maybe here. Bernardo Silva cuts in. Out wide to Alvarez. Alvarez in the box. Silva with the ball. Ball roll. Alvarez. And they give it away. And now maybe Barcelona can come back on the counter through Mr. Lewandowski. He sees Rafinha making the run. He's offside. He can't play him the ball. He's got to play him back to João Cancelo. 31 minutes in. Nothing happening so far. Doku, very fast. Doku versus Cancelo. What's happening here? Cancelo. Doku gets around him. Bernardo Silva. Haaland. Alvarez. Is there a shot? Foden. Shot. Goal! Goal, 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 goal! Mr. Foden gives Man City a 1-0 lead. Was it deserving? Maybe. Man City has had a lot of the ball, but this was a real opportunity. First real opportunity for either side. But it is 1-0 Manchester City. Well, 36 minutes in and we got a goal. Can Barcelona answer though? That is the question. Phil Foden. Rodri. And that's going to be halftime. Really only one solid opportunity, and Manchester City took it. They lead 1-0 at half. Second half is underway. Nice and simple. Barcelona need a goal. De Jong carries. I think Barcelona is going to be a little bit more attacking in the second half. They know they need a goal. Gundogan does well. Holds the ball, holds possession. Is there a cross into the box? He just carries it into the box. Lewandowski, back heel to Gundogan. Gundogan, Rafinha, it's a goal! It's 1-1! Wow! What a beautiful run of play. That is classic Barcelona right there. Pass, 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 goal! Tie game, 1-1. Well, what can I say? We got a brand new match here. Unbelievable. But Manchester City is on the attack. Balde does well to intercept, and now Barcelona can come back the other way through João Felix. He sees Robert Lewandowski making the run. Lewandowski, can he get around Akanji? No, Akanji has had Robert Lewandowski's number all game. I think we might go to extra time here, folks. Gvardiol, 89 minutes. Are we going to extra time? We might be. Only 1 minute added on. Rodri, unless there's some late drama. No, there isn't. Extra time, all square, 1-1. What a match. Well, the extra time is on the way. Foden scored in the 36th minute, and then Barcelona through Rafinha. Kyle Walker. Back to Akanji, and Manchester City is taking it slow. Ruben, back to Gvardiol. And Rafinha intercepts the ball from Gvardiol. Inside to Gundogan. Lewandowski, he still can't get around the Man City defense. He's tried several times this match. Bernardo, end of the first 15 minutes, still 1-1. The last 15 minutes, if nothing happens, we go to penalties. Rodri, 2 minutes left. Ferran Torres does well. Maybe one last attack here for Barcelona. Inside to Robert Lewandowski. No, Akanji again. Akanji steps in again, and that's it. That is the end of extra time. We are going to penalties. It is Man City, Barcelona in a penalty shootout. Barcelona to shoot first, and it is Lewandowski. Cheeky, very cheeky. 1-0 for Barca. Haaland steps up, buries it. 1-1. Rafinha now. Rafinha, low and powerful. 2-1 for Barcelona. Bernardo Silva with his experience. Silva ties it 2-2. Ferran Torres against Ederson. Oh, Ederson makes the save. Wow, Foden. Foden gives Man City a lead. Oriol Romeu steps up. He gets it by Ederson. Ter Stegen, he needs to save this. No, City have a 4-3 lead, and De Jong has to score. If he misses, Manchester City wins the Champions League. De Jong has to score here. Does he score? Yes, he does. Now it's the big one. Ter Stegen has to save this. It is Rodri versus Ter Stegen. You couldn't write it, could you? Ter Stegen. Rodri. Oh, it was close. It was close, but it is Manchester City on penalty. Rodri does it again for Manchester City. A powerful shot, clinical. Don't forget that Kevin De Bruyne will be back for City as well. And there's Kyle Walker, the captain. He will lift this trophy for Manchester City. And Manchester City, they got by everybody. They beat Barcelona on penalties, and they are your 23-24 Champions League winners again. So according to eafc 24, it will be Manchester City versus Barcelona in the Champions League final this year, and Man City will win 5-4 on penalties. We're gonna have to come back to this video and see if eafc 24 was correct or were they horribly wrong. And of course, you gotta give some love to Borussia Dortmund as well, who were not expected to get out of the group stage, but they went all the way to the semi-finals and gave Manchester City a run for their money. As always, my friends, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay happy and stay healthy, and always keep smiling. And of course, if you have any other cool ideas that you want to see on the channel, please comment them down below. And also let me know who you're cheering for in the Champions League round of 16. Do you have a team in it still? Maybe your team went down to the Europa League. Let me know all that stuff in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video on the channel. Peace, 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 peace.